everybody, and welcome back to Lindsay's Little Library. So I have a fun little book haul for you. I'm going to show you all of the books I bought when I was in Madison with the BookTube Besties. And if you don't already know that, it is Krista from Books and Jams, Amanda from The Curly Reader, and Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand. We all got together a weekend or 2 weekends ago, I don't know, a bit ago. And we hung out in Madison for the weekend. So we got lucky and we knew of one library book sale that was going on, and we went to that one. And then we came across 2 other library book sales. I think it was 2 other ones. So we got super lucky with that. And then we found some really awesome used bookstores as well as some independent bookstores to check out. So I have a box of books. I mean, I drove. I didn't have as many restrictions, but I'm gonna go through them. A pile of the ones you saw probably within the vlog. There's a whole table full. A bunch of them back there are all for my Aunt Sharon. I hook her up with cheap books when I can, so they're over there. I have a pile over here that is book exchange books, and then I have a pile that I bought for my kids because I have to justify this somehow. That's what we're gonna do, but I still have a pile that I bought myself. So let's just talk about them. Let's just get into it. Otherwise this is gonna be way too long. First one, I don't have them in any order. They're literally just piled in the box, and so we're just gonna go with it. First one on top of the box here is The Frederick Sisters Are Living the Dream by Jeannie Zussi. This is one of my most anticipated reads from, I believe it like just came out. But basically we have sisters. We have Maggie gets a call that her sister Ginny, who is a sugar-loving sister with diabetes and intellectual disabilities, has overdosed on strawberry jello. And basically Maggie decides that the care she's getting at the home she's living in currently is just not up to par. So Maggie just brings her back home with her. And she brings her dog with, and it just sounds snarky and mischievous and funny and just heartwarming. So I picked that up. I'm very excited for that. I must have got it from Mystery to Me because that's the bookmark that's in here. This one's on Monroe Street in Madison. Mystery to Me was probably one of my top 2 favorite independent bookstores that we went to. They were just, the selection they had was just, I don't know, it was unique, it was fun, it was awesome. So that's what I got from that store. I think I got more from there, but I don't remember which one. I do know that I picked this one up from Arcadia Books. They have, yes, Arcadia Books. They are in Spring Green, Wisconsin, which is like west of Madison, I believe. So I grabbed Ella Mary Wiseman's The Lost Girls of Willowbrook. I want to say, was Krista talking about this book? I think she was. So this one, again, it's Ella Mary Wiseman, and so we're gonna have quite the mystery in the past, and it really centers around this place called Willowbrook, who takes in maybe troublesome children, we'll say, and follows what happens at this place in New York. That sounds devastating. So I'm here for it. We gotta keep going or we're gonna be here all day. All right, next few books I picked up. I don't, if I remember where I got them, I will tell you. This one I know I got from St. Vincent's de Paul, or St. Vinny's. It's a thrift store. The one of the employees there, I want to say his name was Gary, something like that. Oh my goodness, this guy he knew his books. Like, he was giving amazing recommendations. We were having a fantastic talk, but I found Lore there for $3. This is fantastic. Now, I know I'm kind of getting a little bit away from fantasy, but this one just really has me intrigued. It's basically every 7 years, the Greek gods are forced to walk on the earth as mortals. They can be hunted, they can be killed. It's a whole thing. And so it takes place again in New York. It has a map. I've heard really great things about it. I'm willing to give this a try for all of $3, definitely. Let's see. I don't recall where I found this one. maybe Frugal Muse, which was another used bookstore that we went to twice. But this one is Shutter by Ramona Emerson. This is basically the story of a forensic photographer. It smells good. Forensic photographer who also seems to have some sort of ability to see ghosts. And so the crime victims come to her as ghosts and help kind of lead her towards solving the crime. So it sounded nice and creepy for October. And I've never heard of it, so that's kind of all about that. Next one I picked up is Devil's Rock by Bahal Tremblay. This one, I can't think of where I got this one. Maybe The Book Deal, which is another fantastic book. Most of their books are $4 or less. And this is like a brand new book. It's fantastic. All that caught my eye, it says a family is shaken to its core after the mysterious disappearance of a teenage boy. Like, okay. See what happens. But Paul Tremblay, I'm totally game for giving him a shot. Let's see. Next I picked up, I think this was from a library bookstore or book sale. I picked up The Yankee Widow by Linda Leigh Miller. This one, historical fiction, Civil War backdrop. I've been looking for more of those. I'm kind of, I like my World War II historical fiction, but I'm up for a little bit of a different tale. So this one brings me to the Civil War. I've read books by her before, so I'm definitely open to this one. This is the one my mom tried to take from me already. Next one I grabbed is The Librarian Spy. This is by Madeline Martin. I was watching an episode of Off the Shelf, I believe, and this was one of the books that they had picked and they were talking about. World War II historical fiction, but it's a librarian who works at the Library of Congress. She gets an offer from the military and is brought to Lisbon for a new mission, is posing as a librarian while working undercover as a spy. Yeah, all my trigger words. So, and then I picked up Drowning Ruth because this is a book that takes place in Wisconsin in 1919, and I don't have it, nor have I read it. But yeah, it takes place in Milwaukee. Looks like one of our characters mysteriously disappears, later to be found drowned beneath the ice covering the lake. So I should probably read it. All right, next one I picked up is The Lost Orphan by Stacey Halls. First of all, I really liked this cover. It says 2 women from different worlds and a secret that will change everything. And I looked this up on Goodreads and it had a higher than a 4.0 rating because I'd never heard of it. So I kind of, do my little research and figured I needed it in my life. So London, 1754, 6 years after giving up her newborn, Clara, to London's foundling hospital, Bess returns to reclaim this illegitimate daughter that she had never known. Dreading the worst that Clara has died in their care, the last thing she expects to hear is that her daughter's already been reclaimed. Suddenly her life is turned upside down and she searches to find out who has taken her little girl and why. I'm also interested, my friend Bess. I will go with you. Also picked up Before the Crown by Flora Harding. Katie from Life Between Words and I were kind of not fighting over this one, but basically I'm like, I'll buy it, I'll read it, and I'll send it to you. So that's the deal. Plus my mom also wants to read this one too. But it's basically the love story between Princess Elizabeth, it's going to be Queen Elizabeth, and Philip. So talks about that. It's historical fiction, but based on that event. And in honor of the Queen, I just was feeling like I needed to read it. Then I picked up The Institute by Stephen King because I still want to give it a go. I want to give Stephen King a go because I like to be scared. I can do this. I can do this, right? I can do this. Yeah. I don't know. Help me. Tell me, can I do this? You guys know. Okay, a couple more random ones. This one I know I found at a Goodwill, which their Goodwill prices are way better down in Madison than they are by me. Like, it would probably be worth me taking a trip down there because their books were only $1 or $2. But I found this on the shelves at Goodwill. It's called I Heard You Paint Houses. This is by Charles Brandt. It is a nonfiction about Frank the Irishman Sheeran, and he was the kind of hired killer for Jimmy Hoffa. So mob vibes, apparently some sort of Netflix connection, but it sounded really interesting. So for $1, picked that up. I found another book by Gil Paul. I've read other books. Let's see, what did I read by her? The Secret Wife. And Gil Paul is really good at the multiple perspective, dual timeline historical fiction books. So we have 1997, when Diana, Princess of Wales, is in a car crash. We kind of know that story. And then we have 1911, when 15-year-old Mary Kirk meets Wallace Warfield at summer camp. She's captivated by her fearless, brazen, and self-assured personality, and Wallace has a way with the boys who are drawn to her like moths to a flame. Through Mary's family isn't crazy about her new best friend, she steadfastly stands by her side, even years later when they're adults and rumors swirl about Wallace and her reckless behavior when none other than the Prince of Wales. How are they connected? I don't know, but she's gonna take us on a ride. All right, some other random ones. I picked up a book about the Mayflower. This is a recommendation from Katie from Life Between Words by Nathaniel Philbrick. It is a nonfiction story about the Mayflower, which I'm super interested in. I've always been really interested in. I actually have, someone in my family came over on the Mayflower. I'm just enthralled by this. And she said this was one that is nonfiction that reads like fiction, reads like a story. So I'm super interested in it. And I believe Katie said she has it too. So we both, oh, and there's some maps. We both are gonna dive into this and learn a little bit more. And then on the same line of nonfiction, I found this at Leopold's, which is another independent bookstore. One of the most unique bookstores I've ever been to. It is a cafe, it is also a bar, and they arrange their books by region. So either by where the book takes place, by where the author is from, where the story, it's all by region. We spent so much time in this little, and it wasn't big. It was probably no bigger than my library room. It wasn't a huge room, but because it was organized that way, we were seeing books we've never seen before, including this one. So this is a nonfiction book about the Slender Man case by Kathleen Hale. This happened in Milwaukee in, when did it happen? Early 2014, where two girls injured their best friend in order to be able to go and live with Slender Man. Deals with mental illness, violent crime, what happened to these girls. It intrigues me so much because it happened here. And again, I've never seen it before, so I picked this up and I already started reading it and was already like super intrigued. But yeah, this was at Leopold's. Really unique place to go. Another one I picked up, I believe this was on the free table at which one? The mystery bookstore, I think it was, because it's an ARC, can't sell ARCs. This is Girls of Flight City by Lorraine Heath. It is inspired by true events. Again, yeah, we've seen books like this before, but I'm intrigued, and I picked it up, so there we go. Another one I picked up, I want to say this was from a library book sale. It's The Locker by Adrienne Megson. Sounds super creepy. It says a kidnapped daughter is just the beginning. It says, hello Nancy, you're at your usual locker at Fitness Plus. The time is 9:15. Your cell phone is dead, your home phone won't answer, and your daughter Beth is home with the nanny. It will take you 18 minutes to get home, and if you drive fast, shame, you're already 18 minutes late. The kidnapper's only stipulation is that Nancy must tell her husband Michael, except she doesn't know where he is. What? Yeah, I was intrigued, so picked that up. Also picked up Pride, Prejudice, and Other Flavors by Sonali Dev. This is an Indian American inspired story or retelling of Pride and Prejudice, so I'm interested. It seemed cute, and I want to say Krista said it was really cute. Another library book sale find. This one also, I think these are my library book sale books because they're at the bottom of the box, and that's where I picked up the box. So I grabbed The Orphan Sisters by Shirley Dixon. It says World War II, two sisters have only each other, and it's dual timeline. So these sisters were abandoned by their mother at an orphanage. So we have 1929 and 1940. Eddie and Dorothy as they're living in the orphanage, and then when they are released. But they're released right in the midst of World War II. So I thought it was a unique, different kind of take on a World War II story. The next one I picked up is a nonfiction called The Secret Rooms. It's a story of a haunted castle, plotting duchess, and family secret by Catherine Bailey. It says when the 9th Duke of Rutland died alone in the cramped family archives on April 21st, 1940, his son and heir Charles ordered the room sealed. No one went in. It was sealed for 60 years. Then Catherine Bailey became one of the first historians that were allowed inside, and so she discovered, when she was reading through the Duke's letters, was a mystery involving one of the most powerful families in British society in the days leading up to World War I. What did she find? And I want to know. So I'm intrigued. And it says it's a page-turning true story. And I feel like I looked up reviews and they seemed decent too. So I was interested in that. Found this, I think, in the clearance section at one of the bookstores we went to. It's Heat and Light by Jennifer Hay. I don't know. This one is, let's see, historical fiction. 40 years ago, Bakerton coal fueled the country, and then the mines closed and the town wore away. Now Bakerton has been granted a surprise third act. It is squarely on top a massive deposit of natural gas, and it follows kind of whether or not these families want to allow that drilling to happen. Again, another just different take on historical fiction. And then this one totally caught me by the cover. We have The Department of Rare Books and Special Collections by Eva Jerzik. What holds more secrets in the library, the ancient books shelved in the stacks, or the people who preserve them? And I believe a book goes missing, and she's on the hook for it and needs to find it. It sounded fun. All right, next one I picked up, Whistling Past the Graveyard by Susan Crandall. Let's see, summer 1963, 9-year-old Starla runs away from her very strict grandmother's Mississippi home. Her destination is Nashville. That's where her mother went to become a famous singer. She wants to find her. Walking a lonely country road, she accepts a ride from Ula, a black woman traveling alone with a new white baby. Now on the road trip that will change her life forever, Starla sees that for the first time, life is as it really is, as she reaches for a dream and how it could one day be. So heard really good things about that one. I picked up another Sandra Dallas book. I tend to like finding these at library book sales. This one is Buster Midnight's Cafe. They're just sweet historical fiction palate cleanser type books to me. I grabbed The Orphan's Train. I already have that. The Children's Train by Viola Ardone. Based on true events about a family in post-World War II living in southern Italy. Again, a little different view. And then I picked up The Voyage of the Morning Light by Marina Endicott. This one is about Kay and Thea are half-sisters separated by almost 20 years, but deeply attached. When their stern father dies, they return to Nova Scotia for her long-promised marriage, or Thea does, long-promised marriage to the captain of the Morning Light, but she can't abandon her younger sister, so they go together. At the heart of The Voyage of the Morning Light is a crystallizing moment in Micronesia when Thea buys a young boy from a remote island and carries him away as her son. Over time, the repercussions of this act force Kay, who considers the boy her brother, to examine her own assumptions, increasingly at odds with those of society around her about what is forgivable and what is right. Seems a little heart-wrenching, but yet I'm for it. The next one I have to talk about is A Witch in Time by Constance Sayers. She ends up, this witch in the late 1800s, ends up being bound to her lover, and they are trapped side by side as they continue to live through multiple lifetimes under different names, never escaping her tragic endings. Only this time she might finally have the power to break the cycle. Such witchy vibes for October. I couldn't help myself. Next one I have is No Safety in Numbers by Dana Lorenz. This one is about a biological bomb that goes off in the air ducts of a very busy suburban mall, and everyone who's in the mall is now locked in the mall and kind of quarantined together, and kind of the widespread panic and issues that happen from that. So kind of found that a little interesting. The next one I have is What Could Be Saved by Lise O'Halloran Schwartz. Look at that cover. Dual timeline. So we have Washington, D.C. 2019. Laura Preston is an artist kind of hanging out on her own, not getting along with her sister. as their elegant mother slowly slides into dementia. When a stranger contacts Laura claiming to be her brother, who disappeared decades earlier when the family lived in Bangkok, she ignores it, but B's warnings of a scam, and she ignores the warnings of a scam and flies to Thailand to see if it could be true. So then we get the backstory of Bangkok 1972, as Laura and Beatrice's mother, Genevieve, is living there with her 3 children. As Robert works for the government, I believe. Genevieve becomes entangled in a passionate affair, and their serene household is vulnerable to unseen dangers in its rapidly changing world in a country that they don't really understand. Mystery in the past, gotta figure it out. Sounds like drama. Here for it. Next one I picked up is The Ambassador's Daughter by Pam Jenoff. I also have The Commandant's Girl, and I believe these 2 books go together. Paris, 1919. World's leaders have gathered to rebuild from the ashes of the Great War, but for one woman, the City of Light harbors dark secrets and dangerous liaisons for which many could pay dearly. This was at a library book sale. So, picked up A Time for Monsters by Garth Worthington. Only a monster can do the wrong things for the right reasons. Do you remember the first tape or CD you ever bought? Perhaps you waited for the local station to play the top 40 songs on a Sunday so you could record your favorite band. Maybe you downloaded a certain track to remind you of your wedding day or graduation. Marina remembers every single song for every horrific event in her life. She remembers what song was playing on the radio the first time he hurt her, and she remembers what was playing through her headphones the first time she killed. And then I put it in the box. All of the books just fell over. I also came home with some gifts from a few subscribers. This one is Eternal by Lisa Scottolini. I love Lisa Scottolini. This one is her historical fiction take on Rome and Mussolini and what happened right before the war, and it's fantastic and I love it, and I'm so grateful. Oh my god, I can't wait to read that one. And then this one is from another subscriber who met us for our meetup that we did while we were gone. It's from Sarah. And it is For Those Who Are Lost by Julia Bryan Thomas. She did such a good job picking this out. So it says, a woman's split-second decision on the eve of World War II will tear her family apart. On the eve of the Nazi invasion on the island of Guernsey, terrified parents have a choice to make: send their children alone to England or keep the family together and risk whatever may come their way. Ava and Joseph Simon reluctantly put their 9-year-old son Henry and 4-year-old daughter Catherine in the care of their son's teacher, who will escort them on a boat to the mainland. Just as the ferry is about to leave, the teacher's sister Lily appears. The 2 trade places. Helen doesn't want to leave Guernsey, and Lily is desperate for a fresh start. Lily is the one who accompanies the children to England. She is the one who lets Henry get on the train by himself, deciding in a split second to take Catherine with her and walk the other way. That decision lingers long after the war ends, impacting the rest of their lives. Beyond excited. And then she gave us one of these, which is like a pen bookmark, so you can circle, you know, the good stuff in the book and also keep your page. So super excited about that. And if you're still with me and you want to hear about the middle grade books I picked up for my kids, stick around. If not, thanks for hanging out with me. Go check out the other girls' videos. But if you're sticking around, I grabbed Treks. This is for fans of Stranger Things. I made them at the Mystery to Me bookstore. I made them keep this on because I knew that that would get Emily's attention. It says that they say lightning doesn't strike twice, but bad guys always do. She's already excited about that. I picked up one of the Enola Holmes books. This is also a series on Netflix that the girls absolutely are in love with. But she is the daughter, much younger sister of the famous Sherlock Holmes. And she goes about solving crimes and probably does a better job. So I picked that up. I grabbed The Vanquishers by Kaylin Bayron. This is a group of kids who are in charge of basically vanquishing the vampires. They are vampire hunters. Emily was all about that. Amanda Made Me Get Posted. This is by John David Anderson. This was at a library book sale. I paid 50 cents to it. She said her kids loved it, and so I picked it up for Emily. I grabbed The House with the Clock in the Walls by John. It's a John Bellers mystery. I know that this is a movie as well, but I thought this would be a good book for Max and I to read. We've been reading every night. At the library, I picked up Great Ball of Light by Evan Kuhlman. I just love the cover. It says a handy guide to bringing back the dead and what you will need. And that's what I read. And I was like, huh, Emily's been liking those books. I will grab that. I strictly picked this one up because of the cover, because look at that. Days of the Dead by Kirsten Hamilton. I don't really know much about it. Magical story of a girl's struggle to keep a promise to her dead mother. And then picked up Winterborn Home for Mayhem and Mystery by Allie Carter. Again, Emily's been really liking mystery books. It says 5 orphans, 2 sword-wielding vigilantes, 1 mansion, no rules. And then we picked up more than this. I don't know where her other ones are, but like 4 or 5 graphic novels for her. So I have Jackie, this is a James Patterson and Chris Grabenstein one, and then Awkward. Again, she's been loving graphic novels, and when you can find them for fairly cheap at a used bookstore, I am all for it. So those are all the books, and they're now all over the floor. Anyways, I blame the girls wholeheartedly for all of this book buying madness. Anyways, they have their book haul videos up as well today. Hopefully they're not as long as mine are, so I'll leave links to their channels below. Go check them out and see what other books, you know, we all came across. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, and somebody needs to just take my book buying ability away, please. That'd be great. Okay, thanks. See you next time.